a single drop. Because when a drop of water fall in the ocean, you can't go back in
You
and take
can't
that.
ask a link, say if I'm a link. I'm gonna tell you I'm part of the chain.
Exactly.
Because with me, this whole thing come
Right.
together.
Okay.
The link now go identify himself. Yo, I'm a link now, I'm gonna say I'm a part of the chain.
Okay.
And I saw
Okay.
my drop identified with the mass of water.
Okay.
I bring life.
So you're
No.
so you're a submerged drop. That's how you
wouldn't say submerge,
you wouldn't?
Submerge is a term that go like I'm going below. No, I stay afloat. I'm not to stay afloat.
So you emerged. So not submerged,
Not
but emerged.
I'm merging with the body. You understand? Because you know one time when I go to school, when teacher said there were 6 blind men of Hindustan who went to see an elephant to learn if them can tell later an elephant is. One touch the elephant's side and say, oh, the elephant is like a wall, and he left without overstanding there, and nobody can tell nothing because I feel belief because what I feel.
Come together, learn together.
One touch the elephant tusk and say, no, the elephant is like a spear because that's how I feel, and you can't take that from him.
No doubt.
One take the elephant trunk and say, no, the elephant is like a fire hose. And you can't take that from him because that's how I feel. One touch the elephant knee and say, no, he's like a tree trunk because that's how I feel. Can't take that from him. And it all them was wrong. Because the elephant is have no such thing but how I feel. You can't take a man feel before a shot.
That's 100%.
Fire shot. Fire. You see, but the fact is, regardless of what you want to feel, that does not change the fact of what the elephant really is.
Exactly.
Just like belief. Just like belief.
Yes.
No, they wasn't bound by belief. They
No,
was
it's
more
the-
bound by what they process as fact.
Right.
But that wasn't belief.
Okay.
You get me?
Yeah.
They processed it as a fact because that was the only information they had on it. So it wasn't even believable because they did have some type of interaction with it.
With me,
They knew that it was real.
with me,
Belief ain't got to be.
with me and
interactive.
spirituality now,
Come
Shemel.
together, learn together.
With me and spirituality now, Shemel. I mean, I have to go to no school, no seminary, or no school of theology
Mm-hmm.
Come to us now.
to understand. As me as a Rastaman, I say overstand the simplicities of life because the Almighty deal with simplicity. Him tell us say in the book of Proverbs. Him say look at the lilies of the field, all the toil not now the really spin. Him say watch the ants, or them gather them food together, and the locust. Are those simple things the Almighty watch out. Are the simpler things in a life for me watch in my spirituality.
No doubt.
So I not forget hyper, I get what you call the word fanatic
Right.
about it. You see it.
All right, so let's get back to Jericho.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about Jericho.
So basically, the story of Jericho is Joshua was being oppressed? He was being oppressed in all of this by the occupants of Jericho.
Yes. You see, it is a medical fact that under proper condition, it's a medical fact say pressure
Right?
can lead to a whole bunch of things that is destructive to your physical,
Right.
your social, and your financial. Pressure exerted
Right.
by a force. Seeing? But it's a scientific fact, say pressure, when evilly applied under proper conditions, can make diamonds out of coal. And that is what Joshua, the pressure, what the forces behind the wall that exert upon them, if you give them the depression, financially, socially, economically, and everything, that same pressure
Is what created
under
Joshua.
proper condition, make the changes, make the diamonds out of coal and bring about the change with Joshua people them and want
Okay.
And that same thing will go on in a Babylon right now to the day.
Okay. That's the whole reason why I asked you about Jericho. So I'm glad that you see it like that.
That's how I see it.
I am so glad you see it like that. Because
Thank you for that.
there was a weapon. There was a weapon that Joshua used, wasn't it?
The voice. The voice. Because that's why the Almighty said, shouting, the singing of songs, and when the Almighty in the book of Psalms, when they give credence to the players of instruments and the singer of song, because you have to shout.
Okay. You got to what?
Shout.
Say it
Shout.
again. Say it again.
You got to shout because the Almighty come with word sounds and power, because in the beginning there was the word, and the word become everything that's living.
Right.
See, a word sounds and power bring across things. That's why Rasta people talk about word sounds and power.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and at that, bust down Babylon wall.
Okay.
Now, but Kanate,
He said what? Words he used?
word sounds
So
and
his weapon,
power.
his weapon was what?
Word sounds and power.
But you just said before that, you said that the same thing that was happening then. You said the same thing that was happening then. The same thing that's happening now. Right? You said the same thing that was happening then. The same thing that's happening now.
True enough.
Right?
True enough.
The only difference between then and now is what? We don't know what our weapon is.
They never know what their weapon is neither, you know, until it manifests
That's
itself,
why
you
he
know.
said it.
Never know the weapon is until it manifests itself. Let me show you something.
That's why, I'm gonna interject. That's why sometimes the stories might not, you may read the Bible and you remember how you was like, that's not really my belief. Just like how you said, Solomon said, when you look, you see the past, but then the past become what will be. Sometimes they want us to see it and understand what it will be and how to counteract it. So right now we might be missing a weapon, and we might have to identify with the weapon that Joshua had.
Yo, the people done it, you know. The people done did it, you know. And the people have been doing it for a minute, because even though it might not look like it is, however, the people. Yo, Snap, what's good? Baby, I can't see you right now. I can't see you right now.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for following.
See, I can't see you right now.
Come together, learn together.
Yeah, you gonna
We're talking about breaking down Jericho wall. What's the meaning of it?
Yeah, because
Breaking
the
down
key-
Jericho wall is a recurring action that's been going on, because you know, a Jericho wall broke down make and I people get emancipated, as them call it, 1865. That's an example of Jericho wall breaking down.
okay.
1965, when the American black people get them voting rights, that's an Jericho wall breaking down.
Okay.
Enough Jericho wall, because a whole heap of wall them built up over the time, and Jericho voices came together.
Right.
And that's why I'm natty, because the reason me natty, and not because of the emblem of Rastafari, and not only because the Almighty. So, I say the significance in my natty, because every strand a year may have come together and make it in a lock and it's stronger. So the voice will shout together. We make the changes, you know, see it?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Now I want you to work with it. Now, being that you experience a certain type of underground lifestyle, right? Which group in confinement conditions used to use their voice and trumpet their voice?
Yo, Snap.
Yo,
I say I can't see you right now, right?
you can?
I say I cannot.
Oh, man, alright.
Bless.
Alright.
Just love
Right? Under confinement conditions.
So which group?
Which group
Well, from
Knowledge is
experience,
here today. Take your knowledge.
from experience,
So wake up.
during my travels, during different facilities, to compare any group of assessors still,
That was blatant with it.
no Father of Israel, to be fear, you know. From my experience, I can't say none, you know, because
You never hear a roll call yet.
stick up in. From my experience, while I traverse the confines of penitentiary life, all the groups them we have come across was about self-defense and self-preservation, in a sense of protecting themselves from each other more than even the system. You know, so the system wasn't their deterrent or the system wasn't their enemy per se, because I've experienced being in confinement with people and people chop up each other for simple things, but when the policeman carry him down that place where the camera on there and beat him and call him nigger,
He
them
don't do
not
nothing.
do nothing. So
Okay.
them fighting the groups that I've encountered wasn't in defense of propagating upliftment of
Right.
a movement, but number even I'm be honest with you, I'm a Rasta man. And the Rasta people in confinement wasn't even about that neither. Rasta people was about praising and protecting them themselves. There wasn't about the politicking of politicking any kind of changes.
No
You know what
doubt.
I'm saying?
Okay.
So basically, during my travels in the penal system, man and people was more in tune to protecting themselves from each other more than the police, and the police was your biggest enemy. You see, so a lot of people in the penitentiary, a lot of us brothers are, you know, our thought pattern was backwards, you know, in all assessment, because from my experience, I remember once upon a time I was in confinement in 5 Points. And we got caught up where a whole bunch of us was on key plaque, and the main perpetrators in the fiasco that what caused the shit, they was taken down to the clinic and beaten up and all them type thing they and call niggas and them thing there. And one of the perpetrators was a my cellmate, and when he came back to my cell, I saw him digging in his heart to throw away his banger. So I asked him why he didn't cut the police, because I saw him cutting up a bunch of people in the yard. His fellow inmates, I said, why he didn't cut the police?
Yeah.
And he said, you will get new charge. I said, you get new charge for cutting another motherfucker too. You know what I'm saying? So the third pattern of during my time of incarceration, the third pattern of anybody was coming together was either to cause trouble or to protect themselves from trouble. It wasn't about to anything to make changes
Right.
about the conditions of confinement.
Right. But the reason I asked you that, still,
Yeah.
the reason I asked you that still because I want to keep it in line. The reason I asked you that is because we're speaking about Jericho and we're trying to use the way Jericho used sound or the trumpet or whatever it is that he used to break down the wall, break down the big wall. Because we still got a big wall to break down. We done broke down many walls, but we still have a big wall that needs to come down. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
And-
can I interject for a second here?
Yeah.
With regards to that fight now, you know, I wasn't there when it happened. At the time, I was a boy. Wasn't even given trouble yet, you know, but to my mom. But the history will show that the only time that kind of trumpet sounding ever happened was in Attica in 1973, September, I think it was. September 13, 1973 or 72.
Okay.
That's the only time that kind of trumpet sounding, and brothers gave them lives for that trumpet sounding. And changes was implemented because of that trumpet sounding. To this day, those changes that was implemented are still, they are still even being improved on.
Right.
But from that trumpet sounding. So that trumpet sounding was very much necessary, you know, because that trumpet sounding alleviate or eradicate a lot of the things that is happening to people behind in confinement behind those walls, you know. So that was a trumpet sound in that
Moment, you say.
that history can account for in the state of New York.
But I don't want in this scenario, I don't want you to use the trumpet as being directly connected to some type of reform or change. But that's ultimately what we want to use the trumpet for. I'm trying to connect the two on the level where it's
Okay.
our voices together under different circumstances can bring about it can bring about our voices together can bring about creating another vibration,
All
a
right.
vibration more
I
respectful.
agree with you. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to help you along because you struggle to explain yourself.
Okay.
I'm going to help you to bring it along.
Okay.
You see, the trumpet,
Right,
it's a musical instrument.
right,
But in music, there's more than one instrument.
right,
And you said something else to get just now. I'm going to help you along.
right,
You said together, voices together.
Voices
In
together.
1985,
right.
a group of singers came together and did a song, We Are the World.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a many of voices in that song, all kinds of artists in that song.
Right.
And that song went to aid, the prophet from that song went to aid the people in Africa.
Right.
When the AIDS was coming up and all that. So that is some trumpet sound. That's music. Because the African said, the Almighty, as I said, he gave credence to the singers of song and the play of instruments.
Right.
Music is so divine, my lord. Music bring everything. So music is a trumpet.
Right.
All in all, depends on what kind of music.
Music can also be a
When even Batman sing music, you love it because the word, the melody and it is so nice. So music bring everything together.
That's a fact.
So that's another trumpet sound. So going back
right.
to the trumpet, again, it's a musical instrument, my lord. But whenever one somebody advise it, you understand? I never want somebody to depend. You understand? And that's why the tune there. I mean, Lionel Richie, Diana Ross,
Yeah,
that
Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder,
Michael Jackson's
everybody
Bang and
did
Beat
that.
with the point. And they were, so this is the togetherness of the music. It just showed the unity. There was no color barrier, there was no class, no race, no distinction, no creed, no none. It was just the voice coming together that made that melody. Hey, yo, I'm sure somebody that might love music. See, and the trumpet and everything. There's music in the wind. There's music in the baby crying. There's music that rushes in the water that rushes to the shore.
Mm-hmm.
There's music in the insects that make their noise cry. There's music in the sound of the birds. There's music in every blood clot thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even right here in the city where we live, there's music in the siren that we hear bellowing each and every day. There's music in the car horns. There's music in the baby that is making their noise. You just gotta find the music.
So basically you're saying we surrounded by music like water. Right? That's what you're saying?
I need to say no more.
Right?
I need to say no more of that.
Is we using this Alright, first we gotta agree, do a Jericho wall need to be knocked down? Is all walls knocked down or are we still the people that suppress or
Do we do what?
Yes, walls continue to have to be knocked down.
Of course.
that's how you feel?
Yes.
Of course.
You feel? You feel like
Of course.
there's walls that
Of
ain't been
course.
knocked down?
That's why the music can't die. Because if there was no wall to be knocked down, there would be no music.
True. I agree. I mean, walls have to be continuous.
Walls have to be continued knocked down.
So see, what's our greatest power against our enemy?
We have the greatest power against our enemy.
So you alright, do we agree that there is an enemy that's working against us?
Yes.
Do we agree?
Yes.
Because there's certain things that we got to agree with if we're going to be moving forward
Yes.
on a cohesive, like, from the same foundation.
Yeah,
Do
so-
we agree that it's somebody that's outright out his way has put things in position, have done things to have you in the conditions that
Those conditions exist, but then they are
When you actually,
there's the issue of self-destruction. Cause sometimes you in each man, a man can be one enemy himself. You know what I'm saying? So before a man start look without for switch party, many have to look within. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
I can't. I can't blame a man for being poisoned if somebody poisoned him. So if you've been poisoned, if a person been poisoned, and everything in his character is of a poison character, I can't get mad at the man of his poison character.
Right.
If anything, I got to go to the individual that poisoned him first place. That's why his character is even like that. It's because he's been poisoned.
Yo, one time, beloved,
You agree?
You characterizing your thinking to a tribe I see in Africa.
You think so?
Yeah, I see a tribe in Africa, they don't step on nothing, they don't kill nothing. Like they forget everything because everything got like. No man, people something for dead man. Some people get them punishment for them deeds. You can't come talk about that because them poison from you see them can do what I'm doing. Some boy forget them flagging for them deeds. I want you.
So who said that they don't supposed to get justice?
Yeah.
Justice is what? One reward or penalty for their actions and deeds. Can't escape that, whether he poisoned or not.
So we don't want to sympathize with some people.
Yeah, but if you don't deal,
Right.
but if you don't deal with the poisoner, then
Right.
the poison is going to continue. More people going to continue getting poisoned.
That's why we actually do you think we have a special enemy that's designed things for you not to rise above? Don't you think somebody's behind the background betting everything they got just not to see you rise?
Beloved.
Yeah.
You see the way the system is set up right now.
Whose
It's not
system
by
is that?
coincidence.
It ain't.
It's not by coincidence.
What is it about?
It's a generational thing that's been given to these motherfuckers through them peer
Thank you.
parents over and over and
Program.
over again.
Called
It's been
program.
a program that
They've
been
been
going on,
programmed.
my lord.
So it's a poison program. Who getting poisoned by this program?
Enough ignorant individuals and you can't blame them. But then again, you know, remember saying, we go get biblical now. The Almighty say, I chose you, Israel, and you descendants as my people. Not because you were many, because you were the fewest of the few. No, all you have to do is sorry for them.
Sorry for who?
All
For the
one
poisoners?
that get- Yeah, sometimes you have to do sorry for them.
Really? So them not getting a lashing.
I'm draw a reference to you.
You just told me that lashing gotta
Yeah,
be
yeah.
given.
Yes.
Somebody gotta
But
die. That's
Moja-
exactly what you just told
Shimon,
me.
Moja
But they don't get no
I'm
lashing.
not contradicting
Feel
myself.
sorry
when I
for
say
them
this.
now?
I'm not,
I think you see, you know
I'm
the
not
program
contradicting
look like?
myself when I'm saying this. I'm going to draw reference to you. One day, a man called me uptown to come give him some dog food.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to jump on the train on my bicycle. I'm going to ride up on 162nd and St. Nicholas. I'm going to saddle the bicycle, come out of the train and saddle the bicycle. On the train, on the subway thing. I'm going to walk from this, go across the street, go deal with the matter. I'm going to deal with the matter, I'm going to come back, I'm going to talk on the phone. You know, I have a little shabby seat on the bicycle, like a tear seat, you know, more cushion about the tear, we are used, you know.
Right.
And while I walk and come back in the schmel, I see a man turn up right by the bicycle, you know. And I say, why am I by the bicycle? Why am I talking to this man? I'm going to walk my teeth, the man teeth have the blood clot, tear up bicycle seat, have a blood clot, have the bicycle seat. You don't have to sorry for them man, them more than strike. Come so what the fuck was you gonna do with that? You can name set for dime. Ain't nobody gonna buy that. So in transgress, but I'm feel sorry for you in transgression cause.
Yeah, but
Wow. You see what I say?
he was disrespectful and he was out of line. But at the same time, he was doing that. Somebody else was finding a cure for cancer. So that's just two polar sides to one thing, right?
I think there is an enemy.
So you feel that there's an enemy, right?
Yeah, and I think there.
And the system that the enemy is using against us is what? Democracy and capitalism.
Yes.
That's what they call it, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because to defend yourself, you gotta know what you're defending yourself against, right?
True.
And if you're gonna go in the ring against a fighter, you gotta study the fighter that you're gonna go against with and start understanding their strengths and their weaknesses, so you can at least have a chance in the fight and maybe even win.
True.
But you have to study your opponent and the tactics that your opponent uses, right? So we know as far as the democratic process, we at the bottom of that, right? Who participate more than that than us? as a unified basis.
Really?
Everybody, right? Everybody participates in the democratic process and the unified basis except us, right? So democracy is a monster that we gotta tend to. Then capitalism, right? Who at the bottom of capitalism in this country?
We are.
Right? At the bottom because we're not using our capitalistic energy or whatever the case may be, you know what I mean, to benefit us in a certain way where we can have some type of noticeable improvement, right?
Right.
During in each generation, we don't even have that.
Right.
So we gotta figure out a way to right? So we gotta figure out a way to tend to capitalism, right? Alright, so then how do we deal with democracy? What's the easiest way for people to... It's a strength that democracy gives the people for people to have, for people to be able to
We are part of it.
use a different route. Because see, democracy gives everybody a choice. You know what I'm saying? A choice to vote. So if you got a choice to vote, you got a choice to participate and non-participate. And one of our strengths is non-participation.
Right.
You feel what I'm
But we
saying?
did it before.
In democracy.
You know,
I'm getting to the point right here. One of our greatest weaknesses is that we participate in everything. You feel what I'm saying? We don't have no control over our participation. The reason why I was talking about the Jericho Wall because I had like a profound thought about the Jericho Wall just today, just on the basis of on some study. Now I always